There is one big mistake and misconception in the manifestation journey, in the manifestation community, in the conscious creation community, and I really don't hear a lot of people talk about that. So if there is something in your life that you want to create, something new in your relationship, something new in your business, something new in your health journey, whatever, today's video is for you, especially if you have been doing this a long time and it's not really shifting a lot. So today it's the big mistake that I'm going to reveal, and I also show you how to change that and what you can do to massively speed up your journey, basically, your manifestation journey, your conscious creation journey, getting that what you want. Stay tuned. First things first though, my name is Lydia Wilmsen. I'm a mindset and high performance coach, and here on my channel I talk about all things high performance, of course, conscious creation, personal development, business growth, and everything always under the angle of manifestation and conscious creation. So not things are happening to me, but things are happening through me and as me, and how can I really become, or how can I really start my power, you know, like almost like Jedi power. How can I tap into that? Especially as a very driven personality, especially as a high achiever and someone who likes to get things done. If you take those teachings that we talk about here into consideration and apply them, your journey will just like boom, accelerate. So if you're new here, please subscribe. If you like the content, leave a like, share the content, put your questions into the comments, because I can make videos for you specifically on your topic that you're sharing, basically. And it really helps the channel to grow, so I highly appreciate it if you do that. Okay, and if you want coaching with me, it's all in the description and in the pinned comment. We have the Mind Mastery community, which is really, really amazing. Lots of amazing breakthroughs there. It's the low-cost offer where you get basically also one-to-one coaching and group coaching sessions every Tuesday, and you get lots of tools. You get my EMDR scripts, my EMDR videos. Like, it's amazing. Just check it out via the link in the comments and the description. Okay, but now today's topic. So what is this one big misconception? What is this one big mistake? And it really just recently clicked for me, like, to really understand that. So many people, they understand the concepts. They understand, hey, I'm creating my reality. I'm selecting my reality through my focus, through my attention. They perhaps have a routine of affirmations, of visualization, something like that. And things are working, but also not working, so not as fast as they want them to work. And I was really contemplating what is the case here, and I have so many different things I talk about. I also talk about the energetic blueprint, I talk about, you know, trauma, I talk about where you come from, what you have experienced, and why we keep re-experiencing the same over and over again. So you probably have seen that you also created a loop, that similar experiences come again and again. So we have this in relationships. You attract the same partner with a different face. So you break up, you have the same relationship story over and over again. The next partner comes with the same issues, and then the same issues. Even if it starts out nice, you know, even if it starts out nice, at some point it turns out, oh my God, it's still the same story. The same in business, you know. We have the boom and bust cycles, for example. Like, you make a lot of money and then it's all gone again and you're back to zero or back to little. Or you always have the same issue, no matter what business you start. It's always difficult to get new clients, or it's always difficult to scale to the next phase or whatever. Like, it's those repeating cycles. Even in friendships, you have amazing friendships and then they trickle out, or you have amazing friendships but you are never prioritized, and it happens with all of your friends. So then with most of your friends. So then you understand there is a pattern, there is some repetition going on. And you understand it's up to me. And then you start affirming, you start visualizing, you start doing things, but you basically miss one thing. And that is how you're showing up in your physical reality with what happens. So let me explain that. I talked about the blueprint that you have, usually from childhood. So for example, let's take just very broadly, you never felt chosen, you never felt prioritized in your primary relationships, like with your caregivers. You know, there was always someone more important, and as a child, you really grew up not feeling fully chosen and prioritized or validated. That becomes your blueprint. This becomes the lens through what you look at life also when you're grown up. Even though you're not then anymore, you're not a child anymore, it's not your mother or your father anymore, but you still have the same lens, you still run the same blueprint until you change it. And this is what we actually do with EMDR. We release the old blueprint. And what you do if you don't release the old blueprint, you take the blueprint with you anywhere. So now something new happens, a new relationship happens. And first it's all, like super nice butterflies, everything perfect. And at some point, you start feeling not fully prioritized. Your partner doesn't send you as many messages, doesn't invite you to as many dates, or even if the relationship is already a little bit longer in, like you don't really feel like the priority anymore. Perhaps work is taking over for your partner, or even in business, it can be the same thing. You don't feel you're the one everyone chooses. You're not the one people go to as the service provider. So you see the same story, the same energetic blueprint play out. And what people do, this is in the back of their mind, this is unconscious. They have this story of I'm not chosen. And what they do is they experience life through that lens. Even if someone chooses them, even if they have a client say yes directly, they still, they almost get rid of that. They don't really see that. They don't notice that. They say it would have happened anyway. It doesn't matter, one-time thing. If they even notice it, they just let go of it and say it's a small thing. It doesn't really matter. So they use the same lens and look at a situation that's actually positive for them, and they dismiss it. And they go back to their old blueprint. And then they do affirmations, and things start shifting in their reality. But because they haven't shifted their blueprint, they are still the same person internally with the I'm not chosen story. They look at the new, at the movement in their lives, they look at it from the lens of I'm not chosen, and they dismiss it. It's crazy. Or there is silence. But nothing is happening. But instead of saying hey, all good, I'm chosen, I'm deeply chosen, I'm always the one who gets chosen in those moments, they go into no, I'm not chosen. Of course, this is not going to work out. So they fall into their freaking old blueprint. And I really don't hear people speak about that. Yes, we speak about old story and so on, but it's those micro moments where you retrain yourself to stay in the new story. So I want to give you some really practical steps as well, or some practical examples, because for me it was yes, this is how you do it. So let's take the business story, okay? So in business, you always have a lot of, if this is your story, and pick whatever story you have and then translate it, of course, to your story. So you have always lived in scarcity. I don't have enough money. This is your blueprint. This is your blueprint from how you grew up. Perhaps in your family, you never had enough money. Perhaps you always saw your parents complain about money and there's never enough. So, let's stick with that. Let's not go into the childhood stuff now. Let's stay with that's your story. That's your old experience. And you were traumatized by that. And it doesn't need to be a war or something. Trauma just means it's unprocessed and it's still active and it's still running a loop. It still triggers you. So you have the blueprint, the unprocessed trauma of I live in scarcity. There is never enough. I never have enough money. What happens now is, for example, you start your business, you keep running your business, and bills show up, and the story is I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. I never have enough money. But then you also do some affirmations around money, my money situation is getting better, I have so much money, whatever. And then perhaps a new lead shows up, not necessarily a client, a new lead, someone inquiring about working with you. When you're still running the old story, the old blueprint, you look at this new lead of yeah, but okay, it's not money. It's not money, it's just a lead, and this lead will say no, so or so. And this happens very unconsciously, very subtle. Those are very subtle things. You look at it still from the blueprint of I never have enough money. Or money comes in, even bigger sums of money, but your blueprint brings you to say, I never have enough money. It's not enough. I cannot pay all my bills with that. I need more. So you're still in the scarcity loop here. Instead of being like, wow, money keeps coming. Like a person who doesn't have that blueprint would look at the situations, and I tell you the different blueprints. So a person who always has like a deep belief of I always have more than enough money. Money is amazing. It's so easy to make money. What happens with them if they get a lead who doesn't become a client yet? They would say like, wow, a new lead, another new lead. It's totally different, right? You, with your blueprint of I don't have enough money, you would say like, oh, it's just a lead, doesn't bring in money, shit, I need money. It's just a lead, it doesn't matter, that doesn't help me. The person who has a blueprint of I have always more than enough money is like, oh wow, this could become a new client. Money is coming in, I always have more than enough money. The same situation, looked through a totally different lens. And this is what keeps creating. You have to understand how you look at the situation is what keeps creating more of in your reality then. So if you look at it like, oh my God, but it's not enough, or this is not going to become a client, you're writing your freaking story in that moment. You're selecting your freaking story in that moment. So let's go further. Then perhaps some money comes in, like whatever, 5,000 or 500 euros or 5,000 euros, whatever comes in. And you're like, with the old blueprint, you're like, oh, but that's not enough to pay this bill. I need more. That's just half of it. Oh my God, I don't have enough money. So money is coming in, but you go into the old story, I don't have enough. The other person who has a story of always more than enough, perhaps also doesn't have something in the bank account at the moment for whatever reason, because they just paid something or bought something. And they are like, wow, more money is coming. I always have more than enough. I just say it and more money is coming. You get it. It's a different, very different energy looking at the same situation in the present moment, at the very same situation. Money coming in. Money coming in. You go into like, I don't have enough, it's not enough. The other person goes into like, wow, money is coming in. And yeah, so you go into it's not enough. The other person goes into it's more than enough. Let's take the blueprint in love and relationships. So again, the blueprint of I'm not chosen. You have, for example, a date. Oh no, you have a date. You have a date. And you go into, but they probably didn't like me. They will not reach out to me. Without like after the date, it was an amazing date. And your story is I'm not chosen. You directly go into, but they are not going to reach out, or they didn't like me. Now we have someone with a blueprint of I'm always chosen, I'm always loved. They go into the very same date, amazing date. And after that, they are like, wow, this was amazing. Of course, this person is going to reach out. Of course, they are going to send me a message because I'm amazing and I'm always chosen. Like you don't necessarily think those thoughts, but like this is what's happening internally. Very same situation. And one goes into, you go into like, I'm not chosen. It never works for me. The other side goes into, I'm always chosen. This always works out for me. So what you have to do, and then we can go into relationships as well. It's like, hey, I always get flowers. I always am so prioritized in my relationship. And then perhaps you have a day where your partner is very occupied with work. What you would do with your blueprint of I'm not prioritized, I'm not chosen is, yeah, of course, they're overworked. I'm not chosen. They choose something else over me. And the other person, feeling always chosen, always prioritized. The partner is also gone for the whole day, doing their own thing, not reaching out, not checking, not doing anything. They still go into an internal story of, hey, they're super busy, but they're thinking of me all the time and they are going to message me super soon and I do my own thing now, Same story, same scenario, totally different story. And how you relate to that story. And this is the big thing that I don't see anyone talking about, or not in depth. How you relate to your current circumstances. It's not about dismissing them, it's how you relate to them, what you think about them, what blueprint is active, what the lens is you look at the same circumstances. This is what makes it different, this is what recreates a new story for you. If you look at it from the lens of I'm not chosen, I'm not loved, I'm never picked, I'm never prioritized, I'm not good enough, you have the freaking same circumstances as I just said. And you will create differently from that than someone who has the very same circumstances and goes into, I'm always loved, I'm always chosen, it's always working out. So it's not just, you have to understand, it's not just the affirmations, it's not just the visualization you do in the moment. It's not even just mental diet, you know, like how you flip your thoughts and stuff like that. It really is about how you relate to the things that are happening, because usually there is a bridge. Things are happening like so often, and people say, oh, don't go for the end, don't settle for movement. I say, fuck this. Of course, take the movement that is happening and help it to reinforce your freaking new story, your freaking new identity, your new way of being, your new blueprint. So take whatever is happening, whether it's good or bad, and take it to write your new story and practice your new story. So even if you have a scenario where a person or a lead or a person is not reaching out, use that moment to say and practice and do the EMDR routines that I tell you in, or that I show you in Mind Mastery, in the Mind Mastery community. Take those in these moments and release the old blueprint of I'm not chosen. So in those moments where nothing is happening or something negative, seemingly negative is happening, in those moments you can see where you stand. In those moments you can practice the new blueprint. You can release and reprocess the old one and take on the new one. So it's actually powerful moments for you. It's powerful, powerful processes that you can do then. So my message for you today is to really become more aware of how you relate to things happening right now in your reality. Do you go into your old story, into your old blueprint, into your old trauma triggers? Or have you reprocessed them, and can you go into the new story in those moments? Relate to those moments differently. So even, and this is what they say when they say like, you find, like, honor every penny that you find or every cent that you find. It's kind of like nice to be grateful and gratitude and yada, 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 but it goes way deeper. It goes way deeper. How do you look at the money that you get, or at the lead, even if it's not full-blown like money yet, but just a lead showing up? How do you relate to that? Is in the back of your mind the story playing, this is never working out, this is not enough, no matter how much comes? Or is the story playing out, I always have more than enough? And this is what you need to practice. In those moments, you have to become very aware of what's happening and then start using your everyday life to practice the new story and select the new blueprint again and again and again. And as I said, for me, it's not just using affirmations. I had to learn to really reprocess my old trauma triggers of not being prioritized, of not being chosen, of not being picked, of not being the one, or whatever, in every area of my life. This is what I had to look at. Or not being enough, not being worthy. Those are the basic ones. And it's the same with my clients. When they shift that, when they shift, oh my God, I have one client who's starting to date again. Like, it's amazing what's happening for him. He used to really not go for the kind of women he wanted, stayed with the safe ones, so to say. And he is teaching himself now in the moments of going on dates, how he shows up, what blueprint gets activated. Is it the one, I will never get her? This is not the one. He's an amazing person, by the way. He's extremely attractive and super smart and everything. But everyone has those thoughts, everyone. So he used to go into a blueprint of, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy for that person, because he had a very deep self-worth issue rooting in earliest childhood, because there was abandonment happening, because family situations early on when he was a baby, he was abandoned kind of from his prior or first caregiver, and some other people took care of him and whatever. So it was a very, very deep imprint. And this ran the show. This ran the show actually also in business, but now we are working on relationship and dating. So he showed up when he saw a woman, or talked to a woman he really, really liked. The blueprint was, I'm not worthy. And then she's going to have a partner, she's going to, like, all those stories. This is how he approached women. And this is then kind of feedback he got. Now he's approaching women from a different, because we've reprocessed the old traumatic memories. He now approaches dating from a place of, I am deeply worthy. I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to do anything. You know, before that, he was always like, oh my God, how do I have to show up? What do I have to do to prove my worth? And, you know, being very like, almost like stressed in the dating, during the dates. And now he's calm. He doesn't feel he needs to prove anything. He feels deeply worthy. And this is his blueprint. Same dates, different outcome. So this is what I mean, because his blueprint shifted from I'm not worthy, I have to prove myself, to I'm deeply worthy just because I exist and women love me. That's the difference. And he used the dating times. He used even like talking to anyone on the street to strengthen the new blueprint and to release the old blueprint even more. So it is not about dismissing your physical reality. It's not about, oh, don't focus on circumstances. No, practice in circumstances. They are there for you to hold the new blueprint. So if it's money struggles for you, in those moments that just 10 euros come in, you practice the new blueprint. In the times that just a new lead comes in, you practice the new blueprint. In the moment when a lead says no, you practice the new blueprint, because people who say I always have enough, if a lead says like, oh no, that's not for me, they wouldn't be like, oh my God, I don't have enough money, this never works out. They would say like, who cares? They're missing out. Up to the next one. And they'll be like, oh, and this person wouldn't have matched so or so, whatever. They have their own story, and they are so like, there is no money issues at all. There is no struggle at all. This is the difference, and this is what you have to practice. Okay, let me know if that resonated, and let me know if you're actually going to do that now, to really live your life differently. Live your life and practice the new blueprint instead of using the old blueprint. This made all the difference for me, and it was some time, you know. There is usually a bridge. There is a time where you still go into the old blueprint and you are aware of that. You're like, oh my God, the old story, I'm not using it again. And like, no, let's view this from a different lens. Let's reprocess what's happening underneath. Let's look at this from a different lens. Use a different perspective when you look at whatever is happening right now. And this changes what is happening right now. It changes in an instant, because all situations are neutral, but you give them meaning, and you give them perspective, and you choose the lens with what you look at what is happening now. So this is how you can speed up your manifestation journey like crazy. So do your affirmations, do all of that, saturate your mind, yes, that's good, but then practice in the daily moment. When the 5 euros hit your bank account and you're like, oh my God, it's so little, I want more. This is the moment when you practice the new blueprint. Or when you go into a date and after that you don't hear back from them for whatever, 2 hours or 10 hours or whatever. This is when you practice the new blueprint. So these are crucial times, and when you do that, you will see an acceleration. Like, give it a few days and you will see massive shifts if you really apply that and if you really shift in those moments. And as I said, check out Mind Mastery, because I give you the whole teachings on how to use EMDR. This is eye movement, desensitization, reprocessing. This is used to release traumatic memories. It's actually trauma therapy, and this has been one of the game changers when it comes to my own manifestation journey. Okay, thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.